Alright, what's going on, guys? This is Maury
and Pat from the Erie Better Beer Bureau. Tonight we have a beer from a brand new brewery, the Just Beer Project out of Vermont. This beer actually is this brewery was founded by the Jim Cook of Sam Adams and the original founder of Magic Hat Brewery before they got bought out by North American Breweries and then that Costa Rican conglomerate. Their mission for this new brewery is they're going to try to brew beers in the craft beer style, but at a more accessible palate and price point. So they're going to try to brew easily accessible craft beers to see how they do in the general market.
Well, it kind of has that nice combination of like a light hop character and that kind of grainy, grassy character.
Yeah, it does definitely have a definite malt backbone underneath the hops. The hops are really present on the aroma. But there's, I wouldn't say biscuity, almost like a saltine cracker kind of
I can see
aroma
that
on it.
A little bit of fresh hay.
Yeah.
It definitely, there's a grainy component to the aroma, and then you have those kind of hops sitting on top of all that. It reminds me of the aroma of the Founders All Day IPA a little bit.
And other sessionable summer
light,
beers.
crisp IPAs.
Some of the ultra pale ales that have been coming out in the last couple years.
Cheers.
Cheers.
A little more bite from the hops right up front than I initially thought there was going to be.
Especially from the aroma, yeah.
Yeah, and it follows the nose a little bit for me. There is a little bit of that grainy character. You're not getting, at least I'm not getting an overwhelming amount of citrus. You get the bitterness from the hops right up front and then a little graininess, and it really cleans and smooths out towards the middle of the finish.
Yeah, it's a pleasant grassy hop character to this beer. Again, I was also surprised by the bite of the hop up front.
Right.
But it mellows out real quickly into the grains in the middle, and then you do get, there is a lingering hop flavor.
There is. And this bottle says on the side there that it's best by January 2014. So we're like mid-November here. We're coming close to that early November yet. So this has some life left on it.
You know, it kind of treads that fine line between a pale ale and an IPA, I feel. It doesn't really have the boldness of the hops that you'd find in an IPA, but it's a little more aggressive than a pale ale, so it's a little difficult to categorize in that way. For the sessionability of this beer, and that's the way they intended it, I think it works. It's about an average IPA, You're not getting a ton of bold flavors out of it, but they weren't aiming for a ton of bold flavors out of it. So I'm going to give this around an average score. I'm going to give it a 3.25 out of 5, a little bit above average, and probably right on the nail of what they're aiming for this beer.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Pat. 3.25 was a score I had in my mind. Right up front, when I first sipped it, I got that nice little zing and blast from the hops, and that was real pleasant. And, this beer compares better to those session IPAs that have been coming out lately. It's more fair to compare this against them. But even still, there's nothing that is off-putting about this beer, but the one thing I find myself wanting is some other flavor in there, and I'm not getting it. Like, I want a little citrus or I want a little pine, but to me, there's not really too much of either of those. It's the bitterness, and then it's that kind of grainy, grassy hop character, and then clean, and that's all there is to it. I mean, it's good, it's sessionable. I would rather drink this if I was at a summer barbecue than, the ones we won't mention.
We're talking about.
For sure. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 3.25 as well. Till next time. Cheers.